Everybody to We Geek podcast. Today is February 21st. We are on our 131 episodes in. Well, let me rephrase that. We're 131 episodes in. Sorry, I'm excited tonight. And yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about. We got a movie to talk about. We got the Black Panther we went and saw. I don't know if you went and saw 50 Shades of Grey yet. But no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, man, how's your weekend been, Logan?
Crazy. It's been a crazy weekend. It started off horrifically because I woke up Thursday morning and was just sick. And,
yeah.
And I don't mean like, oh, I woke up feeling bad. I mean, I woke up 9:30, which anybody who knows me is going, my God, something must have been wrong, and rolled out of bed right into the bathroom. And I was there off and on for about 13 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was not fun, and I know there's at least one guy from my theater job that listens, and I hope there's a couple more. Guys, I am so sorry I wasn't there for Thursday night for Black Panther. I hope I didn't screw you guys too much, but man, there was no way. There was just no way. And I hate it. I hate being sick. I get angry when I get sick because you can't fix it. Something like that, like I'm just, because you can't take anything, and there's no, I don't have the medical degree or drug deal expertise to have or know how to work hypodermics or IVs, so I can't, like, I just, there's no way to take anything, there's no way to shut that down, and I hated it, and I hate when it happens, because I get so mad, cause like, I can deal with a headache, I can take an Aleve, or if it's something sinus, I can take sinus medicine, I can handle that. But just and I hated it so much, and it, just because it was a wasted day, and because I know we got hammered up there, I know we did, and I'm probably gonna hear about it, which is fine, but just I hated it all the way around.
Hey man, you can't help getting sick, and you didn't know what you had. You could have easily given it to someone else. If
I know, but I like working up there. I hated that, but But it was just it was just not going to happen, and so I did, so that was my Thursday, and then woke up Friday and drove to Daytona, which
oh no.
The good news is, like, by the end of Thursday, like, everything had at least calmed down.
Everything was out of the body.
Well, everything was out before it stopped trying to all get out.
I've had that before myself, man. It is not fun. It is.
Yeah, it's really unpleasant. But yeah, so that was fun. I was worried about the drive down. I was like, God, we're gonna have to stop like every half an hour, every hour. It's gonna take forever. And then we got stuck in traffic half the way down, and I was like, oh, this is just gonna be bad. But everything was okay. It was calm. It wasn't terrible.
What'd you do on the road? Did you listen to podcasts or read any books, or what do you do when you're swapping in and out of driving?
I was reading when I was riding. I got through Mortal Engines. I wanted to read the book because I was like, that movie looks awesome, and I know it's based on a book, so I should read the book. And the book is insane. If you haven't read it, the trailer is a perfect primer of like, oh no, trust me, this is as nuts as you think it is. And so that was awesome. But I mean, that was pretty much it, because I only did that for the first half of Friday, and then because I drove the second half, and then coming back Monday, I just drove the whole way.
Oh.
So that was, I don't know, I don't know, it's just like, I just want to get home. So I was like, I'm just going to drive. Like, I just want to get home now. I'm tired. I still didn't feel too great. I mean, the races were awesome. I was in Daytona for the races this past weekend.
Who won?
You asked me too quick. I forget who won. I forget who won the Xfinity race on Saturday. But Austin Dillon won on Sunday, which was great. For anybody who knows any NASCAR, Austin Dillon drives the 3, and there's all that history. And it was back in victory lane 20 years to the day after Earnhardt won the only Daytona 500 he ever won, which came in a weird bit of numerology on his 20th attempt at winning the Daytona 500. So it's a weird. It was just
Vince McMahon booked this one.
Right. It was one of those things where just sometimes the stars just line up, and sometimes things are just going to happen. Deal with it, and that was. But it was fun.
How was the weather?
Hot. I forgot how hot it was because I've been to Florida in a year, and
I went outside that day and I was like, okay, I'm good.
Imagine sitting up in the grandstands for 6 hours. With that sun beating down, and I lathered up in suntan lotion, and I did not get tan at all.
Oh yeah.
At all. I didn't burn, but I mean my color did not change.
You can't ask for anything more, you know.
I would like to have gotten a little color at least, but
I agree. But it could have been worse.
I'll take the trade-off. The idea is, look, you can burn and then once that clears, have like a nice complexion for 2 weeks because you never go outside and you're never going to be tan again, or you can just not change at all. And I'll take that. That was what happened, so I'm like, I'll take that. Came back and wheeled and dealed with some people between here and there, and found a place where there was a theater where somebody I know works, and they had because the ones at our job, I think I imagined, because we had the other Star Wars posters.
Okay.
The ones that had, the final one, not the original that was like the homage to the first to A New Hope, but the actual ones that you saw hanging up everywhere.
Right.
We never put ours up. I don't know what happened. I could have sworn I saw them. Maybe I hallucinated them. I don't know.
Oh.
But between here and Florida, I ran into somebody I knew, and they said, we got it was a smaller-ish theater, and they were like, we got 3 of them, and only we're sending one off, and only one person here wanted one. So I got my Star Wars poster, and I'm very happy about that.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it was.
Which one was it? Was it
the one that has everybody on it with like
Luke at the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that you actually saw hanging up everywhere, except for our theater, which was just weird, but whatever.
People thought it kind of looked like Vader a little bit.
Yeah, they had they drew it in and everything. But,
that's a dope one. Yeah, that would be the one I want too.
But I've got awesome. That one, and I need to update that my album on Facebook, because I got a couple others from work a few weeks ago, and then just never. Because I always take pictures of the ones I get because they're really cool.
Oh, nice.
But so that was fun. That was good. Came back and just kind of took. I got in last night, and as soon as I got in, I was like, I gotta go see Black Panther. I want to go see Black Panther, but I got in and got unpacked. And I was like, man, I'm not going anywhere. It's just not gonna happen.
Oh, well, yeah. You just drove through all these states. Yeah, absolutely, man. But, I don't blame you.
But I got up and went to the early show today at the theater here in Statesville, and kind of empty. I wasn't surprised. 12:40 on a Tuesday, and there were like 12 people maybe, which was not surprising. Especially here, it's a small town and everything. Like when everybody, I know, like, we're still going to be busy at my job for the next 2 weeks for people coming to see.
Oh yeah, Black Panther was sold out here in Altamont today.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
At least the one that what do you call it? The one that you can buy you can pick your seat or whatever.
The reserve
it was
seating,
basically right. It was essentially sold out except for like 2 seats, which were all the way in the front.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, bigger city and everything. Like we're, I know we're gonna be sold. We're gonna be busy at work, but here I'm not surprised that there weren't. Cause I mean, we're 22,000 people here.
Right.
Everybody showed up over the weekend, and then probably at nights. Like I imagine, we're recording this. There's still a screening going on. I imagine it's busy at nights, But, you know, during the day, everybody works. Everybody
Yeah.
works. It was a dead time, which is why I love going. But that was fun. That was. We'll talk about that later. We will talk about that later.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're definitely going to be talking about Black Panther at the end of the podcast and get full on into spoilers and what we thought about it. And yeah, man, it killed it. It killed it at the theater. It
Well,
did.
and you know, because we talked about the projections,
Hmm.
and they were like 120, 125, and I
Right.
decided to be bold and say, no, I think 140, 145, thinking I'm gonna go big on this. I love being wrong,
Right.
and I was thrilled to be completely wrong. I
Hmm.
mean, the projections were off almost by half.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Panther in 4 days became the 10th highest grossing film of 2017. That's how much money it made.
Oh
It
yeah.
it beat, because Justice League was the 10th highest grossing film last year domestically, and it beat it in 4 days.
Wow.
It's
That's insane.
its entire domestic run, and it gets crushed in 4 days. And
Jeez.
just, oh, the numbers are insane. And I that kind of, it kind of put it in my head that, we need to do a section for box office the past week and releases next week. So I'll put that in here. Also, because we
Yeah.
don't have a lot of news this week.
Oh yeah.
But I just thought, good God, like it's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
It's gonna wind up making, if it doesn't clear six, I'm gonna be surprised. Just domestically, I would say it would make 600 million domestic. I
Yeah.
Because I was so not expecting this, and I don't think anybody was, and I think everybody is so thrilled about it.
Oh yeah, especially because it's a standalone Marvel movie. We've seen this with Doctor Strange and Ant-Man and Guardians and whatnot, and Iron Man. Of course, when Iron Man, Thor, and them came out, it was a little bit different time because we didn't have an Avengers yet. Um, and to see it do as well as it did, that just it screams volumes. You know what I mean? Um,
It did more than Incredible Hulk, Thor the Dark World, Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange
yeah,
over their entire runs.
yeah, oh yeah,
It
yeah.
beat them in 4 days. It's insane how much money this thing made.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. People went in droves to see this. I'm curious what's going to happen next week and the week after that because word of mouth is huge. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, there'll be a big drop off because of how much it did the first week.
Oh,
That always kind of happens, right?
but everybody's still gonna panic. Remember The Last Jedi? When it
Right.
dropped so much and everybody went, "Oh my God, nobody's coming back to see it." I'm like, guys, there's a big difference between when you make all the money your opening weekend, you can afford to drop down to
Oh
half
yeah.
the money. Like
Oh yeah, totally.
that's still a ton of money. So
Oh yeah,
it's
people were clamoring to see this. They couldn't
yeah.
wait to see this, and I know I'm going to be seeing it again. I got some people that wanted to go see it. That we literally, I lucked into getting the Dolby theater, and where it was like the middle of the theater, all the way over to the right, where I like it, right on the aisle. So if I got to go take a piss or get a refill or whatever, I don't have to bother anybody. I love that, and lo and behold, there was one little lonely seat, and I was like, "All right, I will do that," because it's sold out, and every other, every
Nice.
other showing was sold out, and so I went like 9:45 on a Friday night, and in the theater we're at in Altamont, there's all of this parking, it's so much parking, and then it kind of goes up into the mall parking lot. I've never had to park in the mall before to go to this theater. That's how, not even for any of the Star Wars movies I've seen there, and I've seen most of them there. Um, that's when I knew, like, okay, thankfully I got this, where I got my seat pre-ordered and everything, so I don't have to deal with all that. I got, the AMC. They have like the fast pass lane where you go in and you stand in that line, and everyone to the right of you looks at you and like judges you, like, well, who does he think he is?
Yeah.
And then they call me next. I go in, and I didn't have to wait that long to get popcorn. It was pretty good. Went in and yeah, enjoyed it. And we'll talk about all that later. But it was great seeing so many people there. Oh my God, it was insane.
And
Um,
and if there's anybody out there who still wants to think after the year we had last year with Wonder Woman and the year this year with Black Panther that films led by, starring, directed by anybody other than generic white dude aren't gonna make money, they now officially get to shut the hell up forever.
oh yeah,
Like, it's
absolutely.
done. That's over.
Yeah, man, it matters, you know.
Yeah.
Representation matters. When I went, yeah, but most of the theater that I could see, that I bumped into, that I was around, you know, there was maybe a handful of, it seemed like, you know, white people, but mostly African American, and that was refreshing to see. You know, I saw a kid all dressed up. Their parents were dressed up. It was awesome to see that, and to see how excited they were. You know, and that, you know, it matters. It 100% matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it was a great experience. I loved it. It was one of those. I'll always stress to go opening night, opening weekend. You know, opening night if you can, but something like this, opening weekend, because everyone that's there has been clamoring to get into there and to see that, and they don't want to ruin it for anybody. They laugh when it's appropriate. They cheer when it's appropriate, and it's just the theater feels alive. I really truly believe that a movie is different when you're seeing it with an audience like that than if you're seeing it 4 weeks down the road and there's a handful of people in there. It's just, these
Agreed.
kind of movies are better when you're surrounded by people that love it and adore that franchise or whatever. It's definitely different. I loved it.
No, I totally agree. I think it depends on the movie, but
Right.
The bigger event films, something
Right.
like this, or even ones that, like, comedies are better in groups.
Oh yeah.
Things like that.
It's infectious.
Yeah. Horror movies, I think, are better in groups.
Right, exactly. It feels like a ride. It feels like you're all at Universal Studios for the horror films, and you're like getting packed through that line, and everyone's screaming and jumping, and you know, it's like that.
Exactly. Not so much maybe the biopics.
No. All of those ones are you can watch on Netflix without an issue. But
Yeah.
but something like this, you know, when big moments happen and you hear the gasping from the crowd, or people just getting excited and clapping, and whole theater clapped at the end, and you know, some people don't get that because they're like, wait a second, no one, the actors can't hear you, but it's just an appreciation. It's just like, holy shit, that was a good experience,
Yeah.
and I need to do something with my body right now to show everyone else how happy I am that I saw that. And everyone just clapping, and it was so good.
I never got the hate for that. Like, oh, what? Audiences are so stupid, they clap at the screen. Yeah, get over it, man. We're happy. We saw a really good thing and we enjoyed it, so we applaud. Just, let people be happy, damn it.
Oh yeah, I've sat with friends like and watched Star Wars and stuff like that, and it really weirds them out. I'm like, why? Like, people are excited and they're happy, and that's how they, express it. Like, just who cares if that's not something you do?
Right.
Why would you be weird if other people do it? It was, yeah. My only regret is I went solo to this, so I couldn't talk about it, afterwards. I was just. I was texting my group chat and stuff like that, like, oh my god, this is great. And I have a problem of overhyping things, so no one believes anything I say. And like the next day, like 3 of them were like, oh, you were right. I'm like, oh, thankfully I didn't like overhype it and whatnot.
I don't think this can be overhyped. I don't actually.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There's just it's so we'll get into it later, but it's just so different from any Marvel film that they've done before.
No question.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man, that was my weekend. I saw Black Panther, played some Monster Hunter, hung out with a friend, and like she was showing me these slime videos. Have you heard of this? I guess this is something like parents are all into now. Have you heard of slime videos?
No. Do I want to know?
Yeah, I was like, is this sex? Like, what is this? Is this like, I didn't want to kink shame or anything, but all jokes aside, it's like this.
Well, because then I'd be interested. But...
Right. Well, I'm like, what do you mean slime videos like that? What? Come again? She was showing me the videos, and they're just like, they're people making slime, and it's hard to explain. It's like very relaxing or whatever or you watch it. It's very satisfying, the noise that it makes and all this weird stuff. And apparently it's all over YouTube. It's all what kids and their parents and everything are making. There's all parody videos and stuff like that. So we tried to make slime, which was pretty fun.
I heard, because isn't it like half glue or something? Like you need a ton of glue to make. Yeah, okay, yeah, I've heard when I did some stuff with people that are family acquaintances over Christmas, and one of them has I don't know, she's like 5 or 6 or whatever, and she was so excited because she got this giant tub of glue.
Yeah, it's like the big thing now. The thing is, her kids weren't there; they were gone for the weekend, so it was just me and her making glue. So we don't have any excuses. I was totally thought, I was like, wait, what are we doing? We're making glue, we're making slime, and I told her, I was like, they make this and sell this at like Toys R Us. It's just called Gak. I don't know if they still make it.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't made Gak. Well, because Gak and slime were different though. Gak had consistency. Like Gak was more silly putty-ish.
That's what this is, though. It's silly putty-ish. It feels like silicone-ish. I can't explain it. It's not slime as in what you like. It's not like Nickelodeon slime.
That's what I'm picturing. Yeah.
Oh no, this is more like Gak, where it's in a tub thing or whatever, and then you push your fingers into it. It makes all this noise and squishy, and then you move it around. I don't know.
That's Gak. Yeah.
It was definitely felt like Gak, and so that was fun. But no, my weekend was, the nerdy stuff that I did was mostly Black Panther and Monster Hunter. Oh my goodness.
Still stuck down that rabbit hole, huh?
Still down that rabbit hole. Still down that rabbit hole with Dragon Ball as well. I think Dragon Ball is Super is finishing either soon or there was an episode last week. And then there's an episode in a month from now, I think, like a 2-parter end of in Super. It's going to be done after that. Then they'll do whatever the next one is next year.
Okay.
Just really that. Just kind of hanging out and got my new schedule and everything, so that's been fun. But yeah, man. Let's get the box office. So we already talked about Black Panther. I see a lot of other numbers here.
Yeah. It's basically just just go through this. I'm just doing top 5. I'm not worried about anything below that. And this is basically just like to be a snapshot of the weekend and everything. For when there's things to discuss. Basically the only discussion point was Black Panther made all of the money.
Right.
Pretty much. They figured 242 million plus. These are all 4-day weekend numbers. This counts President's Day. And I lost the screen. Give me a second to get it back. Because the number there is how many screens it's on, which is also important. And they figure, it's on 4,020 screens, which is mammoth. That is a gigantic number of screens. Peter Rabbit was the second, had the unfortunate distinction of being second place this week. About 23 million and change, so not even a tenth as much as Black Panther made. 3,725 screens. Total domestic gross for Peter Rabbit so far, about 54 million and change. Not great. Not great for Peter Rabbit. Also not great, 50 Shades Freed. 19 million and change this weekend. Almost 3,800 screens. Total domestic, not quite 79 million yet.
Oh, wow.
That's a big letdown from the last two. It's a big letdown.
Is it the final one?
It's the last one. Yes, thank God.
Okay.
They're just
there'll be more, just with a different name.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. This was the sequel to Twilight, so who knows what's coming next.
Yeah.
Jumanji fourth, 10 million, 2,800 screens, which is still fairly healthy. Just about 380 million domestically. They've got to be really, really happy with Jumanji, because that's made serious money. I thought it was going to get crushed. I know we can go back and look at that tape. I thought it was just going to get destroyed, but it's hung in there, and it's been steady. It's just kept plugging away week after week.
Oh yeah.
And fifth, the 15-17 to Paris, just short of 9 million this weekend, 3,000 screens and a couple.
Terrible reviews.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I saw that it's known that he put like the real heroes of that day in the movie as the actor. So I don't know if that's what I was afraid of when I heard that. I was like, oh no, is it gonna be obvious that they're not trained professional actors? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Interested in that though.
26.6-ish million so far.
Gotcha.
Probably not going to be a great financial success. I didn't throw the foreign numbers on here because I'm not really interested. But I can't imagine that's done a tremendous amount of money overseas.
No,
so,
I don't think so.
But on the plus side, I doubt it was a really big budget. So
no, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the top 5 for this past week. Coming out this week, the big movie. I'm gonna stick with that. I was gonna bounce a little, but I'm gonna stick with it. The big movie is gonna be Annihilation. At least I hope, because the alternative is not fun. It's a Paramount film. It's gonna be on. They say it's gonna be on about 2,000 screens, which is it's a respectable number.
Yeah.
Especially considering it's kind of higher concept sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's a little like it's not a simple. It's not your ordinary sci-fi. There's a little depth to it. But I don't know. I hope that's the bigger of the 3 this weekend. The other one, Every Day, it's from Orion Pictures, is going to be on about 1,600 screens. I don't actually know anything about this movie.
Yeah, I don't either.
I've never even heard of it, but they're like, this is the other, wider release. Okay, great. Unfortunately, this one may be the one that wins out of this 3-horse race. Game Night. Coming from Warner Brothers, going to be on, all the screens it can fit on that aren't going to still have Black Panther on them. 300 plus.
Do you think Black Panther is going to be in the IMAX or Dolby Theater 3 weeks out?
3 weeks, I don't know. 2 weeks, yes. It'll be there this week and next week because that's Disney's standard deal is 2 weeks on the biggest screens. Okay. And we know this because the details of the Star Wars deal came out, and they were like, no, this is going to be on there for 4 weeks.
Gotcha.
So we know, like, Black Panther will be guaranteed, like, IMAX or whatever your largest premium format screen is, opening weekend and then this weekend. But after that, it's not contractual. I want to say I'm pretty sure it's not contractually necessary.
Right. Okay.
And that
I didn't know if I'm going to be able to see it this weekend, but someone I wanted to go with won't be able for 2 weeks, and I wanted to get the one where we can get the Dolby Theater because it's just the sound is just something else. So
yeah, and now this can change from movie to movie. Like I imagine Avengers is also going to have that 4-week tag on it.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be surprising. And also but past that it's up to the theater.
Yeah.
I know, like, we'll switch it out. Like, if we don't have to have something, we'll have something different every week if we can, pretty much, which usually works out.
It's probably a bad time to ask and probably a bad time to look up, but I'm curious what is coming out not this weekend, but the following weekend. Anything big?
Death Wish.
Death Wish, okay.
Death Wish is your big one 2 weeks out, which I won't see, and I hope people don't go see.
I wonder if that will be in the IMAX or the Dolby or not. See,
I doubt it, actually.
Yeah, I doubt it too. That's what I'm thinking. Like, if they want to keep making money, people are going to keep seeing Black Panther.
And that's the thing is, like, if it's not specifically in a deal, it's up to the exhibitor.
Right. Okay, cool. I'll just keep an eye on it.
And sometimes they'll split. I know sometimes we'll have one thing in for the early showings and then something else in for the later showings. Like I think we alternated like between Maze Runner and 50 Shades for the same couple days or something. It's up to it's up to the exhibitor if it's not
Right.
if they're not contractually obligated to put a movie into a specific theater, then it's totally up to them.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, Death Wish is the big one next week. And then the week after, and the reason I think it might only be 2 weeks is because on March, what is it, 16th is, nope, hang on, I tell a lie, 9th is A Wrinkle in Time. And that's 2 weeks from this weekend. Yes, because February only has 28 days.
Yeah.
So I think you're... No, hang on, I tell a lie. Anyway, I think Black Panther will stay in premium stuff until the premiere of A Wrinkle in Time.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's good.
I hope, because I don't...
worst case scenario, we'll just go to the regular showing, but
Yeah.
trying to avoid the, having to show up early and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I swear, getting Movie Pass is fantastic, but I keep spending money going to the Dolby
Well,
theater when I can.
Well, and here's the thing, like, when you've got a theater like that, when you've got a premium quality theater that's that good, then that's what you go to. I mean, that's not gonna change anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was moments in Black Panther where the drums are beating, and and it's those scenes specifically where the seats are just moving, and you feel it, and it's so good. It's so awesome.
Yeah, count that.
Yeah.
I that's the good thing about work the next couple days is I know it's in our big theater, and so
Okay.
I'm like they're gonna be looking for me, and they're gonna go, "Where's Logan?" I'll tell you where he is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly where he is. Anybody with any sense can know where I am.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, it was good. It was good. And we talked about game night, right? It's gonna be about 3,300
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah. I don't think that thing's gonna do tremendously well.
I don't think so either. I mean, it looks like a paint it by numbers comedy, but
yeah, but I mean, sometimes those things pull some surprising numbers.
yeah.
But I don't know. This one looked like it might have actually had a budget, so it may not wind up making money. Usually these things are made so cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This one just looked like they put a little more into it, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna pay off.
Right.
But something else I wanted to mention. Did the trailer for Hurricane Heist play before Black Panther for you?
See, I was getting popcorns and a drink, and I saw the Avengers trailer, which every time I see that, especially in the Dolby Theater, it just lights my just so good.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the Solo trailer.
Yeah.
And I like one more. So I saw the two that I really wanted to see, but I did not see this Hurricane Heist.
Well, they were the ones that start. Like when I went today, it was those two. It was Hurricane Heist, and there was like one other one. So I don't think it might not have played, but it's the one about the people that robbed the Federal Reserve in the middle of a hurricane.
Oh no, I definitely did not see that one.
I won't. Once we're done recording, go look it up. You don't need to jump and do it now. Because
I'm kind of watching it right now without the volume on.
Oh, you see, because you need the volume though. Because
okay, so I'll stop. Gotcha.
And I'll tell you why. Because absolutely every single line of dialogue in that trailer is a cliche that should be abolished. Every single one. It is a disgusting trailer from a writing standpoint. I look at this and I think every single time one of those characters speaks, I want to start pulling my hair out. Because I'm like, this got made. This with this dialogue got made, and there's probably a fairly decent budget behind it, and they think it's really going to make money, and it's just, this is the height of laziness. This really does look like somebody just plugged... This looks like and you talked about a paint-by-numbers comedy. This is exactly a paint-by-numbers
action film
attempt at an action heist thriller, whatever they think it's going to be. And I'm sure it didn't start this way. I always believe that every movie, even if they're bad, with a handful of exceptions. The 50 Shades movies were always going to be trash, but but most movies you turn in a script, and even if it's based on something that isn't a really great foundation, no screenwriter is just going to be that lazy.
Right.
And it is a studio problem. They send it to focus groups, or they have people who are supposedly experts who come in and look at this, and they think, well, here's what works. And that's how you get so many of these movies that look so formulaic. And there's so many. There are a handful of examples where you can see the first draft of a script, or the first rewrite or something like that of a script, and the difference between that and the finished product, and sometimes even between the shooting draft and the finished product, are ones where you think, wow, this could have been so much better. And it's just, and this looks like that. Like somebody had a kind of neat idea, and so they wrote a script, and they took it to a studio, and the studio said, great, we love the premise. Now we're going to just run it through this little Mad Libs kind of thing, and it's going to spit out all of it's so terrible. And I feel for everybody involved in this, because it's going to tank, and it should tank, and I hope it tanks, because it just looks absolutely terrible. It's everything. Whenever somebody complains about all these movies look the same, they're going to be talking about this movie.
Right.
This is the epitome of all of these problems. It makes me nuts.
Yeah. We should definitely watch it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's just because people are going to look at that, and what does everybody usually always say? Oh, well, this bad dialogue and everything. It's just lazy writing.
Right.
And it's not. I will have, whether you're a novelist or a screenwriter or what have you, I will have your back, unless, on an adaptation. I when it comes to stuff that's based on terrible properties, I keep bringing up 50 Shades, but I mean, it's terrible writing. It just is.
Right.
I am somewhat of an expert in terrible writing. It's my forte, so I'm familiar with it. Like recognizes like. But when somebody just wants to point at a screenwriter and say, oh, the movie was terrible because they were lazy, that's one of the most insulting things, because not only is it never true, but the idea that you could be a lazy screenwriter and get something made, that's not how this works. And it's aggravating to screenwriters, because they write something that has to be unique and interesting and good to even get noticed, and then it goes through the system and winds up coming out crap, and then they get all the blame for it. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. But that's so I'm always gonna stand behind the screenwriter. And that's just, when you watch his trailer, you think, oh my god, they couldn't do anything better than pick all the cliches in the world. I'm sure that when it was written, they did. They picked so much better. They picked things that were, actual lines of dialogue. And then the process happens, and this is what you get.
Right.
It's terrible. You can tell, it makes me angry. Something like this. And I'm just,
Yeah.
But I would rather have something bad, like actually bad, almost unintentionally bad, than something that is just the absolute. It is the essence of cliche. It really is. And but with no sense of irony. It's like they tried to play this completely straight with all of the. Oh, God,
it's not a Sci-Fi Channel original.
No, there's no, we tried to make something really low budget, and we're just, we're learning things, or we're not really good at things, or we haven't really polished things, so you get something that we really, really tried. It just happened to be, we're just really good at not being anything better than awful.
Right.
And there's a market for that. I mean, B-movies, historically, these are movies that were done with legitimate intentions. People really thought, this is going to be a movie. And then by the end of it, you watch it and you're like, oh, guys, maybe maybe don't.
Right.
Those things happen. This is not that at all. I'm just, it bothers me. It genuinely bothers me.
Let's move on to a better trailer that we saw.
Yes. Something
Incredibles 2.
I loved it. I love the idea of like she's gonna go save the world and he's gonna be the stay-at-home dad, and he's not. And it was parenting. It was like here's how this is gonna work. And my favorite part of that trailer was when he's reading Jack the story, and he's the one that falls asleep. So Jack gives him that little slap to wake him up.
Right.
That's my favorite part.
It was so good. I'm really excited for Incredibles 2. It's been a while since I've seen the first one. But it was one of the better Pixar movies.
And it holds up. It absolutely holds up. That's the thing about Pixar movies. The great one, a lot of them were good, but they age kind of.
Is Jason Lee in this one again?
I don't think so. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he can be.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot what happened to him, but yeah. I didn't know if somehow he'd come back, but
I doubt it.
Yeah. But it was a good trailer. I really liked it.
It was a very good trailer. Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Did you see the Ready Player One trailer?
I did, and I loved how this was basically just a hype reel. That's all this was. This wasn't, we had, and it's interesting because we did have 3 trailers with very distinct flavors. They showed a lot of the same stuff. This one, if you know, I'm going to say this and then immediately throw it out because it doesn't make any sense. It's spoilery if you know the material, which is a dumb thing to say because obviously if you know the material, everything is spoilery because you already know what's going to happen.
Right.
But if you
don't know anything about it, you're not going to know,
No.
What is it? What's the saying? John from Paul or whatever?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. My grandfather says it all the time. I don't know what it means.
If you don't know who the Beatles are, you won't know John from Paul, probably.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's that same thing of like if you don't know, then nothing was spoiled for you.
Right.
Because the first one was the fan service trailer. It was designed for us. The second one was the wider appeal. Here's the trailer, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then this one is hey, this movie comes out in 3 weeks. Get hyped.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, and I've seen some people post in some groups that are kind of negative about it. They're like, this is just they just throw in everything in there, and I'm like, that's kind of the point. It's a VR. It's better than VR chat. It's not a bunch of crazy people and Knuckles and a bunch of other ridiculous memes. You know what I mean? Like it's actually pretty good. Seeing we're gonna get the Halo. The Master Chiefs or whatever.
The Spartans,
Spartans or whatever they're called.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be. I'm excited because of everybody that's involved. Like I'm really really hyped for this.
Oh yeah, Voltron is on the poster. That's how cool it is.
Oh my god, I love that new poster. I know we talked about it last week, but the more I look at it, the more I'm like, this is a movie poster for this movie. It's exactly what it should be. It's retro. It's awesome. It's done. It's a Spielberg movie poster.
It's the most Spielberg thing I've seen in a while. It honestly reminds me how iconic the Star Wars ones are.
Yep.
The Harry Potter posters, you know what I mean? Like that one people will look at, I think, for a while and go, "Damn, that is a good poster."
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's this It Chapter 2 information here?
Well, there was a lot of talk when It came out, mild spoiler alert, the sequel takes place once the kids grow up. And a lot of people were saying, Jessica Chastain would be great for older Beverly. She'd be awesome. And apparently now they're saying, yeah, we're kind of working on that. She's apparently in talks at early stages, so they say.
Okay.
But I'm excited.
That would work.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Good.
That would be cool. We got now.
I'll tell you what, man.
You take it.
Okay, because Kung Fury was such a bizarre kickstarted film. and it was a magnificent short. It was really funny, and we know they're making a feature-length sequel, and they've got David Hasselhoff in it, and they've got Michael Fassbender in it, and they have cast the President of the United States, not the current one, but for this film, they have cast Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which is basically, them saying, hey, the Simpsons had the right idea.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, because this is going to be so ridiculous, intentionally, I think this is an awesome idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's that kind of thing, because it will be silly, it will be over the top, it will be like an 80s movie or video game in that sense of like just ridiculousness.
Oh yeah.
So it's go for it, why not? Arnold's not tremendously busy at the moment. I mean, he's doing the new Terminator, but
yeah.
He's...
That's cool. I've always liked the Kung Fu movies. There was a dish my mom made, and I'm not going to go into details of what's in it. It's like beef and some other stuff. And we didn't know what to name it. And we watched the original Kung Fu, and I was like, why don't we call it Skadoosh? Because it would just fit perfectly. Wait, no. Am I thinking of the right movie?
You're thinking of Kung Fu Panda.
I'm thinking Kung Fu Panda. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Okay, ignore everything I just said.
I'll tell you what, though, if they decided to reboot Kung Fu Panda starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, I would be in for that.
Why did I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be the president in Kung Fu Panda? What is wrong with me?
I thought I was the one that was still
the Kung
sick.
Fury movie. Okay, this is the one that with what's his face in it.
Yeah.
There's also another. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I am back on track. Oh my god, did I just have a stroke and think of Kung Fu Panda? Okay, all right. That movie's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be great. They've recast him as Arnold Schwarzenegger, but here's the thing: he's a very ripped panda, and he's voiced half by Arnold Schwarzenegger, half by Jack Black, as a teenage girl in a panda body.
Oh man, I'd be there day one.
I would just show up on set just to say, I have to see this being made. I'll stay here out of the way. I just have to see that this is actually going to be a thing, because I don't believe it.
Oh man, yeah, no, jeez. All right, now I was grabbing this news for later about PUBG, and I thought I'd chime in, and man, was I off. All right. Well, that's gonna be cool. Any idea when that movie's coming out?
No.
Right. Oh yeah, it's still all pre-production.
Yeah, it's still.
They're all getting ready.
Probably 2020, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
No, I doubt before that. I don't think it makes 2019. I think 2020.
But speaking of 2019, we're gonna get Sonic the Hedgehog because it's gonna come out in November 15th, 2019.
Yeah, the live-action CGI mix that they're doing.
How is that? I don't understand a live-action mixed Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
I 2 words: Detective Pikachu. Like,
I guess, but what is Sonic gonna like? What? I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
I don't know. I guess I almost called him Robotnik. You can't do that anymore because that was 30 years ago. I guess Eggman will be live action and everybody else will be CGI. I don't know. Well, no, because they could. Now I'm worried about what they're gonna change.
Right.
Because I'm just thinking about like if they stick with Mobius, then you get the Resistance and everything, and I just wonder how many of them are going to be human. Like, is Sally going to be human? Probably. Is Amy going to be human? Maybe.
Right.
Is Knuckles going to be human even?
No.
I know, but the things that they change.
No. You think we'll get a Shadow?
I hope not. Oh my god, I so hope not. Well, there you go. I mean, Sonic Adventure was set in like an actual city for parts of it. Like it existed in that kind of world where there were also people. So
Right.
it's not outside the realm of yeah, I see where they could either. There's a place for humans. Okay, fair enough.
Right. We'll see. We'll see. Cowboy Ninja Viking, Pearson from Thor Ragnarok, he's going to be rewriting the film. So yeah, we talked about this before about it's the indie comic, right?
Yeah, and I think this is the third version of this screenplay. I think because like the first one was kind of more of a spec-ish script of just like, hey, somebody did this, and then Craig Mazin did like an actual like, oh, I want to take a shot at this. From what I'm familiar with, I may be totally wrong, but now that it's moved into actual production, they've brought Eric Pearson on to do a production draft.
Gotcha.
So it's just kind of the life of a script. It happens.
Mm-hmm. We also got some more movie news here. The Entertainment Weekly dropped a lot of news about a lot of the tie-in Star Wars books for Solo.
Ooh, I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, Daniel Joseph Older did. He's doing. It's called Last Shot, a Han and Lando novel. And it says here, the author of Half Resurrection Blues and Shadow Shaper, I've never heard of him, has penned the novel that connects the three eras of the lives of Han Solo and Lando. Part of it will take place before the events of Solo and focus on Lando and L337, which is referring to Lando's droid sidekick. In the new film, part of it will take place between Solo and A New Hope, and that focuses on Han and Chewie. And that's where we get Santa Staros for the first time. She will says here she would be the character first introduced in the Marvel Comics, who claimed to be married to him. So she's going to be in the book. So Han's wife from the comic. There's going to be a book called Last Shot. It says part of it will take place post Return of the Jedi, and that's where we will see Han, Leia, and a very young Ben Solo. The Lando character and Lando come into the story. The way they're wording this is very weird. Let's see here. It just says the covers. Yeah, the cover has I guess it looks like
it's different. I'm seeing it here. There's different cover art. There's a Lando cover and a Han cover.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so it's the same book. Yeah, that's right. So it's all three different covers. One of them's Chewie as well.
Yeah, and one for her too.
Yes.
So cool. They've got 4 covers.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
There's a young adult book by the author of The Girl on Fire and Thorns, focused on Eldon's character, who's played by Emilia Clarke in the movie. Back in their teenage years. This is about a younger Han Solo, and we'll see what it's like for the two kids. So I guess she knew him when they were much younger. Oh, that makes sense now in the trailer. While she's like, I'm probably the only one who knows who you really are.
Yeah, so this will give us kind of it almost looks kind of like the origin story to the origin story in a bizarre sense.
Exactly. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
There's going to be a Lando comic called Double or Nothing.
Ooh, another one. Cool.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the first one was fantastic. There is The Art of Solo, which I'll definitely be picking up because I've gotten the last 3 and they've just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then the typical official guide, a bunch of kids' books, just a ton of the Mighty Chewbacca in the Forest of Fear, and just a ton of,
more like middle school ish kind of books kind of thing.
Exactly. Oh wow, the Chewbacca one looks just like the Imperial droid from Rogue One, which is kind of dope.
Oh yeah, K32SO.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
It looks just like him. And then a bunch of adventures, Star Wars adventures, which looks like IDW comics.
Yeah. Oh my god, it is K2SO.
It looks just like him, right? It might be.
It is. No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like
it
it is.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool.
That's really interesting. Gets mixed up with a droid, thinks he's a cargo droid, but readers will recognize as K2SO from Rogue One,
Yeah,
who's on a mission for Cassian. Nice. Little tie in
awesome.
there. I like that.
Yep. Oh yeah, just a ton of Han and Chewie books. Um, and that's perfect for kids. Like they love Chewie. And I'm just going down the list, and it's just it's a bunch of kids books, so that's awesome. But yeah, so that's a little bit of stuff to get excited about. I thought that was cool.
I love that there's a little golden book.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I didn't even know they were still printing them. That makes me smile.
oh yeah, they definitely do. Yeah.
Mm.
Did you the Rebels show? I think is ending. I think it ended.
It's not. I don't know if it's quite over just yet. I know this is the last season, and if it hasn't.
Right.
If we haven't seen the finale, evidently they did something wild this week. I have not seen this season yet, and I'm kicking myself. But I'm going to, and because I'm really excited because I love this show, and I'm behind on everything that I like. So don't at me with well, you said you love the show, why aren't you watching it? I haven't watched anything. So,
Right.
but no, I need to watch this because it is the end of the show, and it's kind of tying things up, and they went into this season knowing it was going to be the last season.
Yeah.
It wasn't a surprise. They were like, no, this is going to be it. They're gonna finish this story, and I need to catch up on it.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too. I need to finish that up. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'm totally pumped for these books. I know we're going to be getting a new Thrawn book soon. He's going to have another comic as well. He's got a comic coming out that is going to be all when he was younger, and I think up to the point where the Empire finds him. So that should be cool.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see what kind of because we don't know a lot about the Chiss other than him, really.
Exactly. Yeah. And real fast, we'll bring it up now. Did you see that Marvel is relaunching the fresh start that they do with Marvel now and stuff like that, like Legacy?
Legacy worked out so well.
Yeah, they were good though. That's the thing, is no one got them, but they were pretty good.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at the sales numbers.
Right. Yeah. I think this is a better way to do it. Oh, excuse the noise there. Sorry. They want to play, of course, the Avengers trailer while I'm trying to pull it.
Yeah.
Pop it up.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But what was I going to say? Yes. I think this was just better done because the Legacy, they went back to the old numbering, so that was super confusing. You didn't really know when to jump on. This seems like a fresh, they're mixing up all their talent, a lot of young talent because they lost some people. So that should be interesting. I love kind of getting new writers and stuff in there because that's when you get people like Tom King. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when you get some fresh people in there that really want to write kind of like indie style books, and they're writing superhero characters. So that was cool to see, and it's going to be company wide. It's going to be all brand new. There's going to be like Rebirth, where it's a brand new starting place for every comic, which is awesome. For the big ones, at least. I still think some of the other ones are still going to, pop in there, but Avengers, X-Men, all of that. And I think this is where it really starts, where Marvel is going to be okay with showing the X-Men again and being involved with all of that and not shoving the Inhumans down your throat. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the artwork, the official artwork that they're showing for it, and there's a lot of X-Men in there, which is great to see.
Well, I mean, nobody cared about the Inhumans.
Exactly.
They
kept the right ones on there because we see Miss Marvel and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks like the Inhumans that you love are back. Jean Grey's back in it. She's right in the middle, so that was awesome. Wolverine, Logan, he's back in it, so they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, I need to catch up with Thor because I'm wondering what happens to her. Because they do show the Thor, Odin's son back as Thor again. So,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't, rumor has it I don't think she's gonna die. So I'm wondering what happens to her, what she becomes, or what, who knows. Thor gets weird, and it gets very, with the gods and everything else and the cosmic universe, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Jane. So I'm curious. I need to catch up with that. I'm a few volumes behind. But that stuff's been great. So I don't know. So I think that's really cool. I want a good. This is all going to be in May, so it'll be a good jumping on point for a lot of people, and I think that's going to be awesome. It's going to kick off with Avengers #1.
Yeah, it's anything for jumping on points are always good.
Yeah.
Just I'm still like, it seems like every time we talk about comics, it's because somebody's relaunching something.
Yeah. No. I mean, well, it's easy to be jaded, I guess, about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a jumping on point. To me, that is a good thing, and I know that they do it every 6 months or every year, but it has to be done because you don't want to jump into Black Panther #16.
No, I look at and now there are times where I understand, like Action Comics is doing Action Comics #1000. I understand why you go back to the original numbering for that, because it's a big freaking deal. But that was part of why I never got into DC, because when I was, by the time I came along, they were already in like number 600 and whatever. And I was like, well, the hell with that. Like,
well, when they did Legacy, they jumped from Black Panther 18 to 166.
Yeah, and that's.
So it's like, what? But technically, it was a jumping on point. But it doesn't. I knew that because I read the articles. Okay, we're gonna have Wakanda in space apparently, where he now has like an empire. And I thought, oh, that's awesome. I want to see where that's going. But average Joe walking through the aisle, they're not gonna know.
The audience that they're looking for didn't know that.
Yeah, the average Joe walks into a comic shop and they see Black Panther, what I say was 166 or whatever, and they're not going to want to jump in. And yeah, man, I'm glad. I imagine you got the same feeling when you went into the store and you're like, Superman 662? Okay, what? Like, where do I go? So
yeah.
I think it's welcomed, and it's going to happen again. This is there's going to be a world crashing event. I'm sure that will go with it, and then 6 months later there'll be something else. But that's how comics are.
But I mean, it gives you whiplash from a story perspective too, because it's not like they end a season, like they reset. They have to reset too much in order to start completely fresh.
They don't reset anything, though. That's the thing, is these just kind of flow, especially the Marvel, they just flow into each other. And usually when they do the jumping on points, they kind of, they have a page that says, this is what's going on with the character. And within the first few pages, you get a good idea of where the character's head is and what they're doing. Yeah, because the new writer that's going to be jumping on is going to take just parts of what the character has been through and kind of work off of that. Usually that's how it works. Usually it's not like this massive, wait, what's going on? It's usually explained within a page or so. It's not too bad. But I don't know. I guess I'm excited for it because I can jump back into it and finally know like where to start off at. Because I've been walking in the shops and they're like, we know. I'm like, well, I want to. They brought Logan back. I want to read Logan. Oh, well, he's in the last 3 pages of like 6 to 8 books, but they're all different. They're all over the place, and I don't want to. I'm not going to pick up a book that I don't care about to read the last 3 pages. That is the number 4 of the story when there's 10 issues that I got to get. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like, why isn't there a hey, Logan's back, and it seems like he has the most interesting thing going on. He has an Infinity Stone. And that's been such a mystery of what was going to happen to Logan, especially when his adamantium was opened up and he was not there. So I now have to find it from the back issues of whose idea was this?
Yeah, not the most sensible decision in the world.
No, 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 no. And then like the beginning of that story, the official part of it, will start soon. But I'm like, I want to read the stuff coming up to it, so I don't know. So I'm like, I feel bad telling them like, I don't want to pick up anything until I get the actual story now. And they're like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're they're like, I feel you. It's not, don't know what they're doing. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll go, drop more money on DC. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. All right, where were we? Sorry, I got so distracted.
No, no, hey, that takes care. We were going to cover that a little bit later, so we got that out of the way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. What's this Teen Titans news?
Okay, well, because DC's doing their Titans TV series for their streaming service. They cast Bruno Bashir from Narcos as the chief, and he has an official actual name that I don't remember, and I didn't feel like typing it. But he's the leader of the Doom Patrol.
Oh wow!
So that's a pull. That's a pull by itself.
Their Doom Patrol is going to be in Titans. That's insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's crazy. So okay, I'm on board. I saw Ray Fisher was cast as who in True Detective?
He's playing. I don't know. I don't think I put his name. I don't know if they even had his name in the article. But his character is the son of Mahershala Ali's character.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So
let's see here.
That's because Ali's playing the lead, and so Ray Fisher is gonna play his son, I guess. So.
Oh, Ray Fisher, gotcha. I was trying to think of because
Cyborg. He was
right,
Cyborg.
Yeah. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, that's Cyborg.
Yeah.
I was thinking of someone else for some reason. Who was the guy that played Sabretooth?
You're thinking of Ray Donovan.
Yes.
Who's actually played by and I completely forgot his name.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
you know me enough to make that jump.
Yeah, you were thinking Ray Donovan. It's
I thought, how is he gonna play his son?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah, big. I mean, I get the connection there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big jump to go from Ray Fisher to Liev Schreiber that way.
Yeah. That's cool. That'll be fun. I like the first season of True Detective.
Yeah, I skipped the second one on advice of everybody. So
yeah. We got some Sabrina news.
Yeah, we got a whole lot of casting news for Netflix's Sabrina series.
Okay.
Lucy Davis from Wonder Woman, she played the secretary whose name escapes me, was cast as Aunt Hilda, and Miranda Otto, who played Éowyn, Éowyn from Lord of the Rings, was cast as Aunt Zelda. So that's an interesting pair. I'm gonna skip one here because I want to do it last. Chance Perdomo, who's a British stage actor, was cast as Ambrose Spellman, who's Sabrina's cousin. He's going to be a series regular. Also a series regular is a character named Mary Wardle, or Wardell, perhaps, who's a teacher and kind of Sabrina's mentor, and also half the time evil, apparently. And I thought, well, that's an interesting description. Who are they going to cast for that? They cast Michelle Gomez, who played Missy in the last couple series of Doctor Who, and that's just beautiful casting, and I love it, and now I'm extra excited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, I haven't seen Doctor Who in a while.
Oh, man.
But I hear there's going to be a jumping on point soon?
This next series, they released a new logo just this week, and it's neat, and I like it. It's the kind of futuristic that you would have seen 50 years ago.
Okay.
It has kind of a very Metropolis sort of feel to it.
Okay.
In a way, and when you look at it, some people are going to look at it and go, this looks nothing like anything Metropolis. And that's fair. It was just what I always thought of when I saw it. It's that kind of lost in space sort of, here's how words look in the future kind of deal. But it's going to be great, because we're going to have, completely brand new Doctor, all new companions. Very, very excited. Very excited. Gonna miss Capaldi. He was a strange doctor because
I know you liked him. I did not. I don't know why.
Oh, bummer. I mean, I can understand it. I can because he's very angry. His doctor is very, very angry, even compared to how Tennant's got on occasion. Capaldi was very angry, but it was because it's weird. I've been going back and doing kind of a greatest hits of Who for the last couple weeks, and just hitting all the big emotional beats because I
really liked Matt Smith.
Matt was good. Matt was very good. I think that the first time through watching him, I underestimated Matt. Like I not underestimated. I underappreciated him. Going back and watching his stuff again, I think I appreciate him a whole lot more now.
Because he has just these just moments of brilliance.
And because I forgot how
when he's goofy most of the time, but just
And I forget how young he was. Like actually properly young, and seeing him at the beginning of his run and then knowing where it would go at the end and everything. What was it? The Rings of Akhenaten, I think was the name of the episode. And he has his monologue to this I think it's a sun actually. Or something disguised as a sun or something like that. The monologue he has is just a force. It's ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that moment. I did appreciate the first time, but seeing it again, I may go back and rewatch that a third time here because it's just it's a massive moment.
Oh yeah.
But, Matt was good, and I liked Capaldi because he was. I liked the coat. I really liked the coat that he had, but no, new doctor, female doctor. One day I'm going to remember her name. I know, but Jodie Whittaker, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
that's it.
I do remember. Fantastic. But no, really excited because this is. Not just because it's different for the show, but it's going to be different for the character in some very subtle ways, I think.
Oh yeah.
This isn't a beat you over the head with a hammer about some things kind of show, but it's definitely going to be.
Well, people have been clamoring for this for a while now. They've wanted a female doctor for years.
Yeah, and as well there should be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We've seen. I think the idea might have been to kind of when we got Capaldi, who was a great choice, but everybody after Matt was kind of saying we want a female doctor, and we got Capaldi, and everybody kind of deflated because we thought, oh great, another old white dude. So we got Michelle Gomez as Missy to kind of balance that, and she was tremendous. She was phenomenal. But
oh my god. I just had a funny thought.
Okay, go for it.
The next Doctor Who, Jinder Mahal.
I will reach through this computer and hit you. I will find a way to reach through this microphone. Do not start with me.
Do
not start with me.
I love Jinder Mahal. He's great.
I do too, and I don't blame him.
Oh wait, do they have to be British?
I think so. Okay. Yeah.
So that would rule him out.
Yeah, because he's Canadian. That doesn't count.
I was just trying to think of someone ridiculous.
There's yeah.
I just think of his character. I'm like, that'd be like a ridiculous Doctor Who.
They could find a great villain for him though. He could do it. He could do it.
Yeah. Who would you cast as the next Doctor Who after her? I know that's a thing you probably got to think about.
Somebody that I don't know.
Somebody you don't know.
Yeah. I'm very happy with them because Matt was.
I don't know too many British actors.
And that's the other thing. Like all the British actors are kind of big namey. So, well, Tom Hiddleston. No, we don't. No. Like I don't want anybody.
Idris Elba.
Idris wouldn't be a good doctor, I don't think.
No?
I think in a way maybe, but
Tom Hiddleston would be pretty good, or Benedict Cumberbatch.
They've already got their own Britishness. Like, I don't need them.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh, I would like to see it just to see how he would play it. Because Hugh could go either way. He could be a very House kind of doctor, or he could go back to being Fry and Laurie kind of Hugh Laurie kind of doctor. And that's true. I would almost pay to see that, or like from Blackadder kind of doctor. Like, I would almost love to see that just because of how ridiculous it would be.
What about he was in Black Panther. He was also the guy in why'd my mind just go blank?
I don't know.
The movie where he shows up to the town and they're all weird about him, and he's with his girlfriend.
Gee, that narrows it down.
Jordan Peele directed it. Why is my mind going blank?
Oh, Get Out. Oh.
Get Out, the guy from Get Out. He was in. He's got to be British. He was in. Sorry, it's late, guys. He was in Black Mirror.
He was the guy from the second. He was from 15 Million.
Yeah, he's got to be British.
Yeah, he was from 15 Million Marks. I knew he looked familiar. Damn it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, immediately when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy from yeah.
Wow, I totally didn't place him. Wow.
Oh, the talent in that movie was just. Whew.
Oh man, yeah, we'll get to that, but yeah, he would be interesting.
One of my favorite characters, real fast, we'll talk all about this. One of my favorite characters from that film, he was so good. I could have sworn I remembered him from something else. I couldn't name it. Turns out he's been in nothing. It was the guy that was in charge of.
You're looking for M'Baku, I'm sure of it.
M'Baku, that's it. Yes.
He was.
Where
fantastic.
have I seen this guy? Because he's such a good actor, and I rattled my brain. I was like, what movie was he in? Did I see him in a show? Maybe like an old HBO show or something? No. He's just been in really nothing.
He's been in pretty much nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he like walking away from that film. I'm like, that guy's gonna be in stuff.
Yeah.
Because he stole the scene. There were so many scene-stealing people in that movie. So anyway, we'll talk all about that later.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just trying to think of British actors that would be a cool Doctor Who. And I mean actresses as well in that. I just don't know too many British people.
No, I don't need it.
Did he pass away?
No, John's still around.
That'd be great. What about Daniel Radcliffe? Do you think they would ever let him do it?
Oh, that's a.
John Boyega is British.
I'll tell you what, I'll line up for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if it was just like a season, because he's got to be busy as hell.
Yeah, I would. No, I'll tell you what. Give him a run as the Doctor. I'll sign up for that.
Exactly. Or the most British person alive, Martin Freeman.
Martin, I don't know if Martin would be a good Doctor or not.
He's so British.
He's fantastically British, really.
Oh yeah. For moments in Black Panther, I'm like, well, he's British. He's really not, but
he's almost too British to play an American. But there's that gets into a part of that I want to talk about later.
Right.
But
Emma Watson,
she would be great. I would want. And I had it and I lost it, and I'm gonna wind up finding it again. I would want somebody more like I would almost rather Emma Thompson.
Oh, okay.
That would be an interesting choice, I think.
Is Mr. Bean still alive?
Yes, he's still alive.
He would be perfect.
He had his already though.
Oh, was he in Doctor Who?
No, I mean he got to be Mr. Bean. You get one.
Oh yeah.
Like you get one iconic something. Like
so, if you're British, you just can't. Or if you're from the UK.
What was it that was on an episode of The Nerdist that they had Tom Hiddleston on, and Tom basically broke down ages for British actors. Like you get to be, you're in your. I forget what he talked about his kid age, but right now he's in his soldier phase.
Oh,
There's a part where you get to be in your your prince slash king phase. And he said,
Right.
but you look at guys. He said you look at guys like Ian McKellen or
Michael Caine.
not Michael Caine, but Michael Gambon, who played Dumbledore. And he said, I want to be around long enough to be in my wizard's phase.
Oh yeah, Patrick Stewart phase.
But I thought it was great. Like, he broke it down by
Right.
like every British actor plays these roles for a few years, and then they graduate to playing these roles, and that like every hint, instead of an age range, you have okay, congratulations, you've made it to this part of your career now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. that was funny.
That's great. Oh yeah. Well, we just casted the next Doctor Who. There we go.
Right, there we go.
Let's see here. What else do we got here? We got some. Oh yeah, Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. The characters are getting an animated series developed by Cinema Gypsy that did Blackish.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's production company. They're working with Disney Channel to do this, and there's no word on what platform it'll be on, whether it'll be on Disney or Disney XD or on their streaming service. My money's on their streaming service, probably.
Do not sleep on Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
No, that was kind of the vibe that I got going through these articles. Was like, yeah, I remember when this launched, and it's been that kind of thing that more people should be talking about.
Yes, absolutely. It is so good. Oh my god, I can't say enough good things about it. I have 2 volumes of it. I haven't read too much of it, but what I've read I'm almost done with the first volume. But man, it's something that, like, if you're in a dark place, or just you're not even just that, if you're just, your day was shitty, and you're kind of like, ugh, I don't feel like eating, or whatever, you're in a bad mood. This is a joy to read. This will give you energy, and it's just it's weird, in a way. It reminds me of like books that I read as a kid, where it's just optimistic and I don't know, like relatable. It's just the way they write her is so good. It's so really good. Get this for your kids, get this for your teenagers, get it for yourself. Get the first volume, because once you get that, you'll be hooked. I want the rest of them. They were super hard to find because they were sold out every place I went to. I had Aaron order me volume 2, and so I was able to get that, but don't sleep on Devil Dinosaur. So this is going to be really cool to see this, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This is going to be really cool to see made into an animated series, because it's just so much fun. It's so much optimism in a comic that it's good. Check it out. I didn't see the trailer for Cobra Kai, but tell me about it.
It's actually played really straight.
Okay.
Like, I know we were kind of sold this as a comedy, if I remember right, but it's not played that way. Like, it's played very serious. Like, Johnny's reopening the Cobra Kai dojo, and Daniel shows up, and they're staring at each other across the mat, and he's like, this, you and me, this isn't finished. And it's kind of played over, I don't want to say a montage, because it's not a montage, but just different clips of Johnny now as the Cobra Kai instructor, and Daniel they're like all far away shots, like nothing's close up, nothing's real defined. And there's Daniel doing his training with somebody. I don't know if he's got a new protege now or what, but it was, I seem to remember, and maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I thought this was like billed as a comedy.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
But apparently not going by this trailer.
No, we'll see. So that's cool. What else? I was gonna say something else on TV, but I forget. So no big deal. Let's get into some games. Oh yeah, I thought this was cool. The real fast, it looks like the starters for the Pokemon, the next Pokemon game might have leaked. Take it with a huge grain of salt,
Well, because
because these things happen all the time, where some guy with some just tremendous talent will make up whatever they kind of want as their three starters and release it as like it's like real leaks.
yeah,
Um, but it was cool though. It gave I thought like an Australian like theme or whatnot, because the animals they picked.
yeah, it was basically like a really skinny sloth, a lemur, and a platypus.
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
because they just did a lemur though, didn't they?
Um,
I don't know. Probably they did an ice cream cone in a pile of garbage. So there's probably been a lemur or two.
no, I don't think there's been a lemur. I think there's been like monkeys, but not like with long tails and stuff. That's about as close as it's gotten, but not a lemur. I don't think there's ever been a lemur Pokemon.
Okay.
That I can think of. I know there's, yeah. So, this would be all new. Like, I mean, Australia is one of the places they just haven't gone to yet, because all the other ones are kind of based off of like North America. I think one of them was New York, Paris. The last one, obviously, Hawaii was a big influence. Stuff like that. So this one would be Australia. It's a place we haven't been to. Should be fun. It can't come soon enough. If Pokemon's going to be released this year, they got to show it at E3, right?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be part of that direct. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So,
and there,
hopefully we hear more.
Passimian from Sun and Moon. He was a lemur.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And this is kind of my point on this. He's number 766.
I'm trying to think what he looks like.
He looks like a lemur.
I thought he was a baboon.
No, he's a lemur. He's got
the right guy I'm looking at.
He's got the tail. He's a fat lemur.
Yeah.
He's a fluffy lemur. That's what it is.
Yeah. See, I thought this guy was a koala though. The picture we were looking at.
The one was.
Oh, okay. Then why did we say lemur?
He was kind of a skinny koala.
Yeah. I don't know. What do they call them? Drop bears or something like that? Yeah. I've seen that on an Australian post before or something.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Just keep away from the trees. You'll be fine.
Exactly. Australia would be an interesting one. That'd be fun as hell.
I'll give you that. Like, if you just...
Kangaskhan has to be in that one.
Right.
There's got to be a new evolution of that.
A newer Kangaskhan, because that's what we need. Something truly Outback inspired, because those creatures are just insanely scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So man, yeah, I'm excited. Man, the Switch, whew, I love it. It's so good. Man, yeah. If you guys listen, if you're getting your taxes back, go pick up a Switch if you don't have one.
There are worse things you could buy. Somebody at work was talking about buying a canoe, and I'm like, what the?
A canoe. You know what I did get though? I feel like such a child.
Oh, what did you get?
I got one of those. It looks like a switchblade, but when you pop it, it's a comb.
It's a comb. Oh god.
Yeah, and it's like stainless steel. It's so dope.
And the good news is, at least those are fairly cheap.
Oh, totally cheap. Yeah, it arrived in like a day. So.
Well, I mean, I once got a gold-plated toothbrush because I looked at this and said, "This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I have to have one."
You're right, exactly.
It's insane. It's ridiculous because you look at this and you're like, who in the hell buys a gold-plated toothbrush off Amazon for $14 with free 2-day shipping? I just click that button. Like,
yeah, it was great. You got when you can be extra, be extra.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, I saw that PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has a new map coming out by June, and it was based off I'm gonna butcher the word. Was it the Adriatic Sea?
Adriatic.
Adriatic Sea, yeah.
Close.
don't have it in front of me. I'm just trying to remember what it was about. But yeah, with like the clear blue water and like mountains and stuff like that. So, so that would be cool. I know that they lost a ton of people. They're losing subscribers because of the cheaters. So they're coming after them hard. They banned over 1 million people from China alone. Like just recently, they just banned them all. That's where a lot of the cheating is coming from, unfortunately.
Damn.
So they got to get that together, which I'm sure they will. Let's see, other video game news: Burnout Paradise Remaster, which they showed the reveal trailer. The game will include all the DLC and it's releasing March 16th. Now, you like Burnout. Is this the one you wanted?
No, this is not the one I wanted. I hate Paradise. I absolutely despise Paradise. Just not even in the sense of it's not a Burnout game or any of that stuff. I just did not, because here was my experience with Burnout Paradise. Okay, you pull up here and start a race. We've seen this in how many Need for Speed games now. The race starts. Okay, the race starts here. The finish line is way the hell across over here. Good luck. Okay, well, like, where's the route or something? No, just get from here to there.
Right.
Okay, so all I have to do is make one wrong turn down an alley somewhere, and I am completely and totally screwed. Yep. And I immediately, like, that happened to me, I don't know, 3 times in different events. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore. I don't care. This is just, it broke it for me. I was like, if this, like, that was just beyond stupid.
What was the one you wanted remastered? Because I knew there was one you said you loved.
Takedown. Either Takedown or Revenge.
Gotcha.
The old, the PS, because those were the old PS2 ones. And those were arcadey. Those were ones where the point was to wreck people. Like, that was, Paradise was more about the racing and, oh, hey, some of these wrecks look spectacular when they happen. But that's not what a Burnout game is. A Burnout game is arcadey, crash people, crank up your turbo meter. Like, that's what a Burnout game is supposed to be.
Wow.
So I don't care about this. I'm not picking it up. But a lot of people wanted this for whatever reason, so here you go.
Yeah. I know they're bringing the Mega Man Legacy Collection to the Switch, Collection 1 and 2. So that's cool. If you are into Mega Man, what else was there? I saw a rumor that Blizzard's working on a Diablo 3 port for the Switch, which would be awesome.
Oh, I don't know if I'd want that.
Why not?
Well, how would that play on a Switch, though? That's my only question, is how...
There's only 4 attacks, so you would set up your 4 attacks as, on the right-hand side with the A, B, X, and whatever, and you would move like you would normally move. It would work exactly how it does on the PlayStation controller.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe do some, shake it to heal or whatever. You could do anything with it. It's totally doable.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's only 4 moves you have, right? So it's and then you have the 2 buttons. You have the 4 buttons at the top of it. If you need to put things on those, it's totally doable, and it would be really cool to play that with people, with 3 other people.
How's that gonna look on a smaller screen?
It would look beautiful. It would look even better on a smaller screen.
Interface isn't too crowded?
No, not at all.
That's my problem with games of that nature, is there seems like too much UI, and I'd worry about that on a small screen. Now I'm not into Diablo 3, so I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Diablo 3, when you're playing the game, you don't have anything open.
Okay.
If you open up menus and stuff like that, sure, it takes up the full screen, but Diablo 3, there's a tiny bar at the bottom. On the left-hand side, you have your red ball of health. The right-hand side, you have whatever kind of, if you have purple or yellow or whatever kind of class you are. And the top right-hand corner is a map, and you would have a chat on the left-hand corner if you even have that selected. But most people, none of that. Now the numbers and everything popping up, That's anyone's guess. But I mean, this was made for PlayStation 3s, right? So, or was it on PlayStation 3? I knew it was on 4, but
I don't know if there might have been a 3 version. It might have been in that weird time. I think it was. Yeah, it was. It was on 3.
yeah. So it's it's doable. If it could come out on PlayStation 3, it could come out on the Switch. But I don't know. If it's going to come out on the Switch, I'm gonna get that because that's a fun as hell game to play. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's it. You want to get into Black Panther?
Yeah, let's do it.
So,
Our full spoiler warning here. We are gonna spoil things. So.
oh yeah, yeah. So, man, let's get into it. I love the movie.
I had to sit with this for a while. And
Yeah.
let me preface this by saying I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was amazing. But I I have, I don't say this to brag. It's just a fact. I have watched a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've studied a lot of movies. I have I have been so many different movies that I figured I had felt pretty much everything you could feel to varying degrees. Movies can only hit you so many different ways.
Right.
Whether you get excited about something, you're energized, you're motivated, you're inspired, you're sad, you're depressed, you're disgusted. There is they run the gamut of emotions. I didn't, the whole drive home and the few hours after that, I kept sitting there and I'm thinking, I have never had a movie hit me like this before.
Oh yeah.
And it took me a long time to find the word.
Mm-hmm.
And it was subtle. What this movie did better than any movie I've ever seen was all the things that it did with subtlety.
Okay.
I was astonished the more I thought about it, because nothing in this movie is meant to just smack you in the face.
Mm-mm.
Even, Martin Freeman's character, who's supposed to be, the ex-military CIA guy, they
Right.
usually have a handful of different molds, and they're played within those kind of molds.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the button-up. He was if you could put him in a mold, it was the more button-up, businessy kind of CIA
Right.
guy. Not
Mm-hmm.
not averse to field work, but that was then. This is now.
Right.
His moment when he's flying at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and just stops. Oh, I've lost. Got two. I've lost one. And
Right.
you find out where it is when he just says how long, and takes a slight pause, and no dramatic fanfare. The face doesn't change like you would normally see.
Right.
There's no, the eyes don't harden or he scowls or anything, and then he pushes back into it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like, there's a processing. I've got this information. I'm going to do what I have to. Let's go.
Right.
There was a subtlety in that I think you found in just every other facet of this movie that I have never seen done so well before Creed. Ryan Coogler as a director and as a writer has a knack for subtlety that is second to none. And it's astonishing what you can accomplish with that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't even know how to follow up with that.
Sorry.
That was too good. Yeah. No, man. I really enjoyed it. The scenes, and it kind of, to go off of what you're saying, how subtle they were. The way he was a king before he was Black Panther, because this movie, it didn't, it just so happened that he was Black Panther, if that makes sense. But this was just the story of a king and someone who was put in that place and had to figure it all out, and wanted the best there was a line in it where I think it was his father, right, that was like, "You're a good king, and it's hard to be a good king."
You're a good man with a good heart, and it's hard for a good man to be king.
That's it, bingo. And that kind of echoes throughout the entire movie. And I loved that. I loved that there was a ton of action in the movie. He was Black Panther a lot, but the best scenes to me was when he was just the king, when he was just T'Challa. And I loved that. I thought I loved the Wakanda is the most realized world we've seen, first of all, in these Avenger movies, but second of all, I can't think of since we've seen Lord of the Rings, maybe, if that makes sense. Since we've seen Middle Earth, I don't think there's been that realized of a world. Hogwarts, this is going to fall in that kind of category as
Agreed.
like legendary places that people are always going to think about. And it was from just the moments they were seen in the streets, the artwork, the tech, when they're in the tech rooms and stuff like that. The music, the way that the score changed and everything else when they're in Wakanda, it was on another level. Every time I think about the film, my mind goes back to Wakanda. This was globetrotting. They went to like South Korea and a few other places, but my mind just goes to Wakanda, and I'm so glad, even more glad, watching the Avengers trailer after it, that a big chunk of it is going to be in Wakanda.
Yeah.
And I loved it, man. I loved the drama between these characters. You could tell that the director was influenced by The Godfather and even a little bit of James Bond when they do the casino scene and stuff like that, and the spy stuff.
Oh yeah, that scene was very much. I don't want to say it was Casino Royale because that sounds cliche, but whichever, it was one of the more recent ones, because all I can think of is all they're missing is the Komodo dragon.
Yeah,
it was that scene, and that it's so weird to have Gollum and Frodo in this movie. All I could think was not Frodo, help me, Bilbo, right?
Bilbo, yes.
Yes. All I could think was because I've seen this everywhere and it makes me laugh every time. These two are just the Tolkien white guys in this film.
Right.
And I was totally okay with that because Freeman had his part to play and he did it beautifully. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean. He is so Martin Freeman, to his bones, is so British that he plays an American so British.
Oh yeah.
Andy Serkis was beautiful. Andy Serkis was a maniac in every fantastic sense of the word, and I loved him to death.
He was wild. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a nice posse here. You dropping a mixtape? Oh yeah, I'll send you the link to SoundCloud. It's like, no, I don't actually want to hear your music. And then in the car, turn on some music. What do you think this is, a funeral? Like,
right.
He was incredible because they just kind of let him go, and he had a blast with that role.
Oh yeah.
But there was from a story standpoint, you've said it before. Every story's been told already. What is it? Did you say everything's been done?
Everything's been done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
nothing's new anymore. That's the phrase.
Right.
And that's true because on the surface, what is this? King dies, prince becomes king. Trouble threatens the kingdom. Okay, we can break that down a little further. A trouble from the past comes back. A sin of the father is visited onto the son. All of these things. The story itself fits into every little box, and you can always break all these things down.
Yeah, you could say a little bit of Lion King in there. Yeah, it's man. Well, I don't even know where to begin. Like,
but
it had so many strong characters. We talked about, what was it, M'Baku, right?
Yeah, M'Baku.
And I loved how it opened up. Well, it didn't open up with this scene, but it was early on in the movie where, we knew something was going to happen during the ritual where everyone said, no, we're good.
Yeah.
And then he shows up. they put on one hell of a fight. They fight almost to the death, and then he goes away. And then the scene where we see him again and where the state of affairs are at.
Yes.
And the jokes that he makes and stuff like that, where he's like,
If,
I'm
if
going
you
to feed
speak...
you to my children. He said, oh, we're vegetarians.
Oh, we're vegetarians. Played it so straight. And
Yes.
Oh my god, that killed everybody in the theater I was in. I can't imagine what it was like in the one you were in.
Oh, they were roaring. It was so good.
It was fantastic.
Oh yeah, and then the redemption and him just fighting side by side. I love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of shit in wrestling where it's like that guy's been bad for years, but it's like Vegeta. You know what I mean? It's like he was the villain for so long, but he does that face turn. And now it's like, oh shit, you're on our team now. You know what I mean? And that's what he did.
But
He did the face turn.
Well,
oh, it's so good.
In a sense, but also, there was the idea of this is bigger than just petty tribal squabbles.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the future. This guy is going to tear everything we've known and rip it out of the ground.
Yeah.
With his plan and what he wanted to do, and he was like a Castro or something. Like he was just and that was the other thing. Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, he was sympathetic. There's he's not wrong with a lot of the stuff when he's talking about what's happening. It's how he's going about it. Obviously, that's like a huge problem, but you feel for him. You're like, man, this guy, this guy had it so rough. His dad was murdered. He was just left there. That was totally wrong. And of course he's going to,
I mean, he was an abandoned, orphaned black youth in Oakland in the early 90s. Like you looked at this and you understood why he grew up becoming this. Like it's not.
And I loved
surprise.
that they weaved in and out the fantasy, stuff, and also that right there. How many people can relate to that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many people can relate to that? So that was just brilliant on the director's part and the writers. That was just, I didn't see any of this coming. You know what I mean? When we saw the trailers, I didn't expect that part. We saw Wakanda and stuff like that in the trailers, and we saw them fighting or whatever. But that part with the whole Oakland stuff and how all that fit into the movie, man, that was just such a delight to see.
Yeah. There's
a scene real fast when Michael B. Jordan has become the king, and this kind of hits home politically for America just recently, where everything's turning, the camera's upside down, the whole world is upside down.
That was a great shot.
Such a good shot. That shot right there, that's gonna last in my mind.
Yeah.
And I imagine a lot of other people. When the music hits and it turns, and you're just like, what do we do? Because a lot of the characters, what's her name? The girl from Walking Dead, Diana.
Danae
Guerrilla,
yeah. I think.
Yeah. Her character and how she's, loyal to the throne and stuff like that. It was just so good. It was so good. 'Cause she's like, and I loved the allegiance that all of these characters had. One of my favorite characters was Shuri.
The
just
sister.
The nerd. Yeah, just the nerdy sister, sarcastic. That was so fun to watch. And I think I read somewhere she's the smartest person in the Marvel universe.
In that version, yeah.
In the
MCU,
the Marvel,
yeah.
In the MCU, which is awesome. You could tell because she was kind of like his Q, but if Q could also kick ass. I like that she didn't just stay on the sidelines the whole time, that everyone was involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome. And, her line about, she's like, oh, great, you brought me another white boy to fix up.
Another broken white boy to fix.
Broken white boy, yeah.
And I didn't get that was a Winter Soldier reference at the time.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, I immediately the theater was like, oh, like, oh shit, you know, like, yeah, and I didn't even realize Forrest Whitaker was in the movie.
Yeah, he was the priest character.
Yeah, I guess I just slept on that when I watched the trailer. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So that was a joy to see, and he's great in everything he does. And just yeah, the whole flashback and stuff like that. It was like I was there, and it was just so good. It was so good. Um, I loved that stuff. It just caught me off guard where like he was actually from Wakanda as well, and they were like, oh shit, you know, he didn't realize he was being spied on the whole time. Yeah, I think that dynamic, this, you know, it's kind of gonna be weird to say, but like I said, the Game of Thrones or the Godfather type of like the bloodline is so important, and the fighting between these royal families and everything is like we haven't seen that in the MCU at all, and it's so cool that they're touching upon this now, because it feels like nothing else is important in the MCU. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It was just on this grandiose scale that I thought was so awesome.
That was also so personal.
Yes.
It was big and small at the same time, and sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
going into Avengers Infinity War, we're just gonna have we saw him in Civil War, but that's what's so good about these movies is that we're gonna go into that movie and there's gonna be so much weight behind Black Panther when we see him now.
yes,
And his
yeah,
relationship with, you know, Captain America. Now when he says get this man a shield, we now probably know who made his new shield. You know what I mean? With Suri and stuff like that, and now seeing we're seeing her what's her face in the trailer, um, just means so much more now. Seeing her run with the fellow Avengers, because now I don't know, it was cool to go back and watch that trailer, especially with Bucky standing there with everybody and stuff. Oh, it was so good.
yeah. And there was a big hat tip to Danae. I can't. I'd look, but my internet's being wonky on my
Yeah,
phone. Um, her, Okoye was the character's name,
yeah.
and the moment where after Killmonger becomes king,
Hmm.
and there's his ex, not was it Nakia, right? That was because that was Lupita Nyong'o,
Yes.
who's saying, all right, come on, let's go, and she's going, I can't.
Right.
I'm loyal to that throne, whoever sits on it. But you could
Hmm.
see on her face, you could see that she knew it was wrong, but it was her duty. and
Right.
and it wasn't a sense of like I must bury this, and I have to be the proud soldier and everything, because we saw how that all turned out.
Hmm.
But it was the idea of everything is steeped in honor and tradition,
Right.
and everything, and even every aspect of this, every inch of this was so much about traditions, and
Hmm.
about
Yeah.
and about the culture, and having a respect for that, and a fierce kind of protection for that. And there was the line that I do not remember. I don't remember his name. The tribe leader who stood against them. Uh,
What Wakabi?
Wakabi, thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
his kind of look on things of, if you bring in refugees, they bring their problems in with them, and suddenly we're just
Hmm.
like everywhere else.
Right.
How
He had a
how
bit of a heel turn.
a little, yeah, a little bit, and that wound up in its own. The whole This entire movie was a roller coaster of, are we going to change things? How do we change things? Where is the balance?
Right.
What's the right course of action? How
Hmm.
do we, and I loved the honor in when you had T'Challa and M'Baku standing there when he's asking him for help, and he's saying how many times in the past, and he goes, I can't speak for past kings.
Right.
That to me was a great line, because that was a way of saying there is an importance in tradition and culture and history, but sometimes things have to change. And I'm not going to be an apologist, but there was so much in this, and for as much as a film may be relevant to a time, The Post is relevant right now for obvious reasons. There's, you could argue The Darkest Hour is relevant for obvious reasons, and throughout film history, there are always movies that are relevant at a time. Winter Soldier was also relevant at its time.
Right.
Just going back to the MCU, I don't know if we've had for a very long time a film at all that's been relevant on so many levels, much less a studio film that's been relevant on that many levels, much less a film with, this was a film that kicked the idea of the superhero genre out. This wasn't a film about a comic book character.
Right.
This was a film about a king and his peoples, like you said.
Yeah, it felt so different. It felt just, I don't know. It just felt more than, like you said, a Marvel film. As some people might put it. God, one of the, oh man, I'm trying to think of the exact quote now, and I can't.
Try me. It's all pretty fresh in my head.
The quote with Killmonger and about his ancestors when he'd rather not be chained up.
When I'd bury me in the sea because my ancestors knew death was better than bondage.
Right.
It was something along those lines. Yeah, that one hurt.
Right.
That was and because you can see it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was that kind of, again, a cliche, the idea of the villain's beaten and now he's going to have kind of an honorable ending, but it works,
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, it sucks that he went about it the way he did because T'Challa actually felt for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was wrong what happened to him, and it was wrong in so many ways. And it was wrong for him to come back and want to do what he did, but you felt for him, and in that moment, they probably could have healed him up, but he's right, they would have just chained him. They would put him in bondage, and that he'd rather be dead. And that just, man, you could feel it in the theater.
Yeah, I bet.
That scene just, and you don't normally get that. You don't get that from a Marvel film,
No, that's what I continue to love about Marvel, and why anybody who wants to complain about, anybody who wants to be afraid of Disney doing something to any franchise they buy up, they keep shutting people up because they let movies like this get made.
Yeah.
This was
absolutely.
This was an absolutely bold, big idea. We're not going to pull any punches, but this was a movie that made you think by necessity. It didn't push ideas. It didn't beat you over the head with ideas.
No.
It just said, here's a thought.
Right.
And let you fill in your blanks with them. And
yeah, it was honest, and it was just, it didn't pull any punches, but at the same time, I think you nailed it with the subtle thing. It's just, I don't know.
That's what continues to amaze me, is because I've never seen a movie do subtlety that well. It was astonishing, and not a completely solemn movie either. I mean, they had enough humor sprinkled in that kept it.
Oh yeah,
that was enjoyable. It wasn't too much. It wasn't just a joke, but there was
sarcasm with him and his sister was pretty good.
And because you believed it, like his family roasted him, and it didn't matter in that instance that he was king.
And Martin Freeman's character as like the outsider coming in and seeing this world for the first time and everything, that was interesting too.
Yeah.
There wasn't a bad if I could give one knock, maybe the CGI could have been a little bit better during the fight scenes and stuff when they're falling and whatnot. But that's just so, that's any movie in 2018 that's done
Right.
like this. That comes expected. But I can't think of any, that's about the, the worst criticism I could give for it. And that's the thing, I've seen some people say they didn't like the pacing, but I loved it. I loved how he was more a king than he was. He doesn't have to have the Black Panther suit on to, the whole movie. I thought the most interesting things were when he was not.
Yeah.
And when he was in the costume, it was awesome. Those chase scenes. Oh my God, with Kendrick Lamar music playing in the background, like come on. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
And how she was like, "What did I hit? Keep driving." So
what was that? Don't worry about it. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. It was so good.
And the when he disintegrates the car, and Okoye grabs a spear and lands, and here comes
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was something else.
And when here comes Nakia, still holding the wheel in the seat, just sliding.
Yeah. It
was a great little
these
moment.
Women, they were called something in the comic, and I forget. And I believe they said it in the movie. But man, they could give the Amazons a run for their money.
That's a sparring session I would love to see.
It really is. They were some powerful women. And I loved that. I thought that was awesome. In that scene alone, when she gets thrown from the car and she knew what to do and she survived, for the rest of the film, like, she's got it. No matter what happens, she's gonna take care of it because that's how much of a badass she is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, excuse my alarm.
That's your alarm. The Dora Milaje.
Right. That's it.
I think I've got that right.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic top to bottom. And I mean, it from there's no argument now to not make more of these.
Oh, no.
There's no reason. Nobody's gonna say, well, nobody's gonna go see it. That's wrong. Well, it's not gonna be good. That's wrong. Well, it's not gonna make money. That's wrong. There's no reason now. I want a Patty Jenkins Star Wars movie. I want a Ryan Coogler Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you want a Lando movie? Put Ryan Coogler in charge of that.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you kidding me? That would just be, that's your movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's but any of them, and that should open up this. I'm tired of this idea that who do we hire to write or direct? Well, what white people can we find? Stop it. What guys can we find? Stop it. We've put these to bed. These are done. In a genre and in a space where people are arguably starting to get jaded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ryan Coogler comes along and demolishes the box office. Patty Jenkins comes along and puts together not just the best DC movie, but the best DC movie by a long shot, and again from a business standpoint, smashes the box office.
Oh yeah.
There are no more reasons. There's no more argument of, well, this won't work, well, that won't work. Yes, it will. It's been proven. If you give talented people the ball, they will run with it and they will score. And it's just, yes, sometimes you need a Spielberg. Sometimes you need an Abrams. I understand that.
Totally.
I get that. But, the percentage of films, written, directed, produced by women and people of color is disgustingly small. And
I think Star Wars is going to be next. It's a shame that it hasn't been, but with Disney at the helm of these things, that's going to be the next.
It needs to be. It absolutely needs to be. And and I think we talked about that with the announcements of Benioff and Weiss getting their series of films. It was like, that's great. These guys are great. I love them. They're going to do great things, but more white guys.
Right.
Like, give me something different, because we've seen what happens when you have different. You create something extraordinary.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what this means going forward for Marvel films, for Disney films, for films in general.
Oh yeah.
I
And you're right, man. He would kill Lando. He'd kill an Obi-Wan Kenobi film. Did you see the rumor that Lucas was apparently might be doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie?
I saw that and then immediately dismissed it because Disney isn't stupid.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it would happen. But yeah, someone like Ryan or something like that. Yeah, I could totally see them doing that. But this is a movie I'm definitely going to see 2 more times at least in the theater, thanks to Movie Pass. I'm going to be seeing it this weekend and next weekend. Because it's so good, man. It's every aspect of it. I was so afraid I was hyping it up for everybody because I'm just known for that. I'm known to get excited and be just super excited for something, and people will see it and be like, "Oh, it's okay." But every one of my friends that came back, they were like, "That was it's what, like, my Facebook post, that was something special, like, and it was like that was and they've all come back saying that was amazing,
Yeah.
that was better than I thought it was going to be, some of them said, and I was like, yeah, like it really is something.
And
There's
if I could point to one more bit of subtlety,
mhm,
one more moment that I really loved, that was the cherry on top of the sundae.
mhm,
And fittingly, it was before the post-credit scene was the last moment in the film where here he is at the UN. Had this been anybody else, when they had said what can a nation of goat herders or whatever it was do for the world,
right.
had it been anybody else, like had that been Tony Stark, he would have snapped on a suit of armor.
Well, this was his Tony Stark moment.
Right, but what did he do? He didn't do a
Right.
whole "I am Iron Man." He didn't say something and have a jet land on the UN. He didn't
Right.
suddenly turn on the Black Panther suit. He just smirked
Oh yeah, no,
and
he
then
was
cut.
cool, calm, and collected.
That yes, he was a king. He was composed, and he
Right.
doesn't need to. He didn't need to grandstand. It was a case
Right.
of what can we do? Well, I'll show you. And it's
You nailed it. You're absolutely right. He acted as a king
yeah.
does.
And
And
it was so good. The movie was so freaking good.
oh yeah, because the world's gonna change now. Now kind of back to what we were just saying about Iron Man. This is that moment now where the world is now introduced to Wakanda, where it is, it's gonna be interesting moving forward to see how it fits into the MCU. We know Infinity War is gonna be a major part of it, rightfully so. Coming out of this movie, there's not any other place in the Marvel universe that I would care about except for Wakanda to see again. That I'm itching to see again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the most interesting, and so yeah, man, I'm excited. But I don't know. I don't know what else we can say about it. How much praise we can get it. You should go see it. You should take your family to go see it. Go on a date. Just go see this movie.
Just
You see
whatever.
it by yourself. It's so good.
Yeah. Take people, don't take people,
Yeah.
but go see it. It is so good.
Oh yeah. Oh man. And we talked about the soundtrack, right? And the music. Like, I loved the drumming, and it felt so good in the theater. The scenes where it's like boom, 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 and then it'd be silent because it would look at the other person. And boom, 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 and then you feel it in the seat, and it was just something else. The way they weaved that in between the movie. Um, God, I'm gonna go see this weekend. I'm sure you will too.
I'll be doing a lot of theater checks in the Big D. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. We will be back next Wednesday. Make sure you can catch us on Apple. What is it?
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. Yep. Or pretty much any of your applications. The Google apps have it as well. The Androids. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, We Geek Podcast. Just search for us, subscribe to us, comment, shoot us an email at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Give us a review also on Apple Podcasts. Go to our Twitter, is at WeGeekPodcast, and at the Logan Witt, and at Adam Estep. And we'll be back next Wednesday, Captain.
Captain.